Now I'm taking another question, illustration 4. Again the process is same. You will first read out each transaction, and on the basis of transaction you will keep on writing name of the assets and liabilities involved in the transaction, and after deciding all the assets and liabilities, then you will keep on solving the showing the each transaction in the form of equation. Now I will tell you. So first of all, you will make a format in this way: horizontally, serial number, transaction, assets equal liabilities plus capital. Then first you read the first transaction: started business with cash. Now cash is involved and capital. So extreme left you write down cash, and extreme right you will write down capital. Why I'm saying extreme left and extreme right? If you have a, then you will have a space for other items. If you suppose if you write capital here and you have no idea that as how long asset will go, so it is better that extreme left you write for from the first transaction. Whatever assets and liabilities are involved, you will write. For assets, extreme left you write down. For liabilities, extreme right you will write the liabilities name, right? So next, second transaction, you will take rent received rupees 10,000. So rent received is a income. For income, it should be added to the capital you have already written, and the same time cash is involved, so cash is also mentioned. So for the second transaction, nothing should be added as a assets or liabilities. Now third transaction, invested in shares rupees 50,000. So invested shares is an asset because your firm is investing. So shares as an asset you will add it here plus shares, and the same time cash is decreasing, cash already mentioned. Now received dividend of 5,000. Received dividend is an income, so it should be added to the capital is already mentioned, and the same time cash is involved, so cash is already mentioned here. Purchase goods on credit, two things are involved: stock is involved and creditor is involved, so write down stock and creditors on the liability side. Now next is paid cash for household expenses. Household expenses, I have told you, it's a drawings. So cash is involved, cash is decreasing, cash is already mentioned here, and drawings, that is decrease in capital is already mentioned. Now next is sold goods for cash costing rupees 10,000 for 14,000. Now sold goods for cash, assets and liabilities, cash is involved, cash is increasing, it is increased by 14,000, so cash is already mentioned, and profit is involved. So for profit which is going to be added to the capital is already you have written, and stock is decreased by 10,000, stock you have already mentioned. So we move to the next, cash paid to Ragini. Cash paid to Ragini, cash paid to Ragini definitely are creditor because we would have purchased goods on credit. So Ragini side, it was this transaction, purchase goods on credit, although name was not mentioned. Now it is said cash paid to Ragini, that is that creditor name is Ragini. So cash is involved and creditor is involved. Creditor is already mentioned here, cash is also mentioned here. Now last is deposit into bank 20,000. Now deposit into bank means cash is involved, cash account is involved, and bank account is involved. Bank is not written yet, so you will add on the asset side bank. Cash is written. Now after deciding all the assets and liabilities which are involved in these transactions, then you will keep solving the solving the question in the equations form. So now the serial number A is given in the question. You write the transaction: started business with cash, so cash is increasing 1,20,000, so you will write 1,20,000 just below the cash, and capital plus add the 1,20,000 with the capital, rest is 0. So equation is 1,20,000 plus 0 plus 0 plus 0 equals 0 plus 1,20,000. Now rent received 10,000. So cash is increased by 10,000. You will add to the cash 10,000. Shares remain 0. Stock remains 0. Blank remains 0. Creditor remains 0. But the capital will be increased by 10,000. We will add 10,000. If you check the equation, now total asset side become 1,30,000, and the liability plus capital side, it is also 1,30,000. Means equation is followed. Equation is balanced and it is followed. Now invested in shares rupees 50,000, means shares as an asset increasing in the business. We will add 50,000 here into the into the shares, and the same time cash is decreasing, so we will deduct 50,000 from the cash. Rest is 0. So asset is increased by the same amount and the same time decreased by the same amount. So equation will remain unaffected, and the new equation will be cash balance become 80,000, shares is increased by 50,000, so plus 50,000, stock is 0, bank is 0, creditor is 0, capital is 1,30,000. So if you add both the sides, you get that both the sides is having a balance of 1,30,000. Now next transaction, received dividend of 5,000. So cash is increased by 5,000. You will add to the cash 5,000, and you will add to the capital 5,000. So asset side is increased by 5,000 and liability side is also increased by 5,000. So equation is balanced. So now new equation is now cash become 85,000, shares remain the same 50,000, stock 0, bank 0, creditor 0, and now capital become 1,35,000. If you add both the side, you got to know that both the side is showing 1,35,000 as a total. Now next is purchase goods on credit. So stock is involved and creditor is involved. So stock will be increased by 35,000 and the creditor will be increased by 35,000. You will write down. So if you check the equation, if you observe the equation, you can notice it that both the asset is increased by 35,000, so liability is also increased by 35,000. So the equation is signified is followed. Now new equation, cash is 85,000, shares 50,000, stock 35,000, bank 0, creditor 35,000, and capital remain the 1,35,000. If you make total of both the side, you got to know now the balance is 1,70,000 both the side. Now next transaction, paid cash for household expenses. Cash is decreasing by 7,000. We will deduct 7,000 from here, and the same time household expenses are drawings, so it should be deducted from the capital. So asset is decreased by 7,000, same way liabilities and capital is also decreased by 7,000. Equation remain balanced. So new equation become 7, cash is decreased by 7,000. Now the balance is 78,000, shares 50,000, stock 35,000, bank remains 0, like creditors 35,000, plus now capital is decreased by 7,000. Now it become 1,28,000. If you check and make total of both the side, you got to know both the side is having a same amount of total. Now next is sold goods for cash costing rupees 10,000 for 14,000. Now cash is increased by 14,000, so it should be added. Selling price is 14,000, so 14,000 will be added to the cash, and the same time goods are decreasing, that is stock is decreasing by 10,000. You will decrease 10,000 because cost is given 10,000, and the same time you have a 4,000 rupees profit, it will be added to the capital, right? So if you check the transaction itself, it accounting equation terms, so asset is increased by net increase in asset is 4,000, 14,000 minus 10,000, that is 4,000, and the same way liability plus capital total is also increased by 4,000. So equation is balanced. So now new equation Now new equation, cash become 92,000, shares remain 50,000, stock is now 25,000 after deduction of 10,000, bank is 0, creditors 35,000 plus capital 1,32,000 after adding 4,000. Now next is cash paid to Ragni. So cash is decreased by 35,000. We will deduct 35,000 from the cash, and the same time Ragni is our creditor. Creditor is decreased by 35,000. So asset total is decreased by 35,000, and the same time liability total is also decreased by 35,000. So equation remain balanced. So new equation, now cash become 57,000 after deduction of 35,000, shares remain 50,000, stock remain 25,000 plus bank 0, creditors become 0 after deduction of 35,000, and capital remain 1,32,000. If you make total of both the side, you got to know that both the side is having a total of 1,32,000. Now the last transaction is deposited into bank 20,000, means cash is decreased by 20,000, and the same time bank is increased by 20,000. So in this transaction asset is increased and decreased by same amount, so equation remain balanced. The final equation is 37,000, 50,000 shares, stock is 25,000, bank is 20,000. So all the on the asset side you will write down all the four items, and with this amounts, cash will be written 37,000, shares will be written with 50,000, stock will be written 25,000, bank will be written as 20,000. Now on the liability side you will write you don't write creditor because creditor is 0, you will write only capital, that is 1,32,000. Okay. So that's all for the day today. I have given you 2 questions. Please solve it in your notebook. If any doubt, you can ask me.